I'm making this video to document my out-of-body experience. Today is slightly after 1 a.m., Friday, February 23rd. I was listening to this on my headphones right here and laying down intentionally with the intent to have an out-of-body experience. I did drift temporarily into sleep, into a lucid dream, directly into a lucid dream. In the lucid dream, I was doing various things, traveling around, visiting with loved ones that was passed. I remember my mom being there. I was out walking around with friends. And then I became on high alert. We looked up at the sky, and the sky was a very strange color of green, almost smoky. We could see up in the sky there were 3 airplanes, the one in the middle being significantly larger and significantly closer and significantly more in distress. The 2 on the sides were very close, just flying alongside it. Now, at this point in the dream, I started, basically, I think because of fear, I started flipping in and out of being lucid and not being lucid. Like starting to question, even though I've known the entire time that I'm in a dream. I'm walking around talking to loved ones that are past. And people from my past that I'm not sure if are past or not. For some reason, when I seen those planes, and anyone who knows me knows that planes in the sky are kind of a phobia of mine. When I seen those planes, I started blinking back and forth between, is this really a dream or is this for real? Which is kind of the opposite what usually happens with lucid dreams. You usually go in not knowing it's a dream. You see something unbelievable, and then you start to think it's a dream. I went in knowing I was dreaming. Then I seen something unbelievably and scary, and I started questioning if I was dreaming. Probably the first time I've ever done that. So anyway, the 3 planes are coming down. They're cutting funny across the sky. So I can start to see that one of them, the one in the middle, looks like it's starting to tilt. So to the point where it's no longer flying. It looks like it's falling, nose diving out of the sky, right directly towards the front of my house. So the house in my dream was significantly bigger than the house I'm in now. And it wasn't particularly any house that I've ever lived in. But I do remember the planes were approaching towards the front door. I remember my mother doing something, I'm not sure why, with like a mop or large pole, like up towards the front door, maybe trying to secure it. I remember thinking, okay, I have to grab the kids. I have to get Winter, the baby. We have to go, because I know that when a plane is coming at you, you're supposed to run towards it, not away from it. Because more than likely it's going to come forward and it's going to come, hit you. This is what's going through my mind. And I'm back and forth still at this time between, is this a dream or is this real? When my dead mother's in the dream. So I know it's a dream. So I don't know why I'm questioning myself. So once I get really afraid in the dream, like I normally do in lucid dreams, and I don't want to be there anymore, I wake myself up. So I come to attention in my body. I'm in a woken state. My body is still shut down in the sleep state. If anyone who does out-of-body meditation, you know what I'm talking about. So my mind's awake, my body's asleep, coming out of a lucid dream. And I started thinking, okay, well, I wanted to have this out-of-body experience. I'm in this state right now. It wasn't quite sleep paralysis, but I could feel the heaviness of my body being asleep. So I said, okay, for, kicks and giggles, let's try to get up. So I could feel like I'm in the bed with my fiance. So I try to get up, and I I got up, and it felt normal at first. It felt like I was just sitting up. And then all of a sudden, I was slingshotted out of my body, across the room, and up to the ceiling, and then back against the wall. If I could tell you that even though I was in a solid body when I came out of my body, it felt like I was a piece of slime or like silly putty or chewing gum. It's like I was discombobulated about the room. It's like the body you come into when you come out of this body, I feel like is significantly larger in a way, or has potential to be significantly larger, because I was all over the room at the same time, if that makes any sense. It felt like I was like a bouncing piece of flubber off the walls. I remember particularly seeing the tapestry and being slung up. I remember being slung across the ceiling fan into the tapestry. And the tapestry that's in my pinned video, where I'm actually watching a documentary and the tapestry comes up. That's pretty interesting. But anyway, I'm all over the room. I feel like I'm like, like, I was like, okay, so let me get my molecules together. So I start pulling my molecules together, like, okay, and mind you, I'm in a solid body, but it just felt like I was kind of folded or like discombobulated. So I'm like, okay, so as I start to pull myself together, I start to shoot up, like up really fast, really fast. This is when I start to question, is this another out-of-body experience, or am I dying? Because it's happening so fast. And as much as it's an unfamiliar feeling, it's also a familiar feeling. So it's very surreal. So I'm going up, and I'm like, okay, well, I already know, because I've done it before, that all I have to do is think about my body, and I'm back in my body, because I've done this a million times. So I'm shooting up, and no matter how many times you do this, it's like one of those things that never gets old. It still feels new. So I'm shooting up, and I'm like, okay, as much as I want to have this experience and I want to go walk around in this form, I feel like right now I'm not in control. I feel like I'm just shooting up. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not really with it. If I want to, I can go back to the body. I'll come back out. So I think about my body, and boom, I'm back in my body again. I can feel myself on the bed. I can feel myself in my body. It didn't even feel like, what's funny is I was going up. But when I came back into my body, it didn't feel like I came down into my body. It felt like I came up into my body and woke up. And I'm wondering if this is one of those shifting type experiences where you actually go into a different reality. Because I definitely went up from my body. But when I went back to my body, I was still going up and went up into my body, which I found very interesting. I definitely took mental note of that. So I know that once you come back into your body, if you move around too much, open your eyes, look at your phone, do too much, it can take you out of that state. So I laid perfectly still. I did not move. Waited a couple minutes. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to try to get up again and just walk around my house, because that's what I have a problem doing. I have a problem walking around just the area around my body. I always try to go so far away. Now this time, for the first time ever, this is what I did this for. When I did go up, I did look down, and I did see my body. Now I was way up higher than my ceiling, so I don't know how I was looking through my ceiling, but I did see my body laying there, and that's eeky. I don't know, that eeks me out. I don't know why. So if you're not into that, don't look. Some people say don't look and you'll have a better experience. But anyway, I tried to get up again while in my body. I go to sit up. I get up about halfway, and I lock, and I jerked in my sleep, and I know I probably scared my boyfriend. And so I laid back down, and I said, okay, maybe I'll try again in a minute. But I started feeling myself actually coming out of the state and my body waking up. So I said, I have to get up and document this, because if I don't document it, I'm not going to remember. And that's my 10 minutes. I love you guys. Good early morning.